Speaking of poop force, Will, how's your bowel movements?
Oh, it's great. It's smooth.
Nice.
Oh,
Good
man.
news.
Really?
Soft serve ice cream. I've got, sorry. Ian is eating with a spoon.
Stop
Nobody's
eating
complaining
during the
about it.
podcast, you son of a bitch.
Hello, happy brew year to everyone, and welcome to episode 46 of the GameBrew podcast. I am your host, Ian Fox McCloud Richard, and I'm here with Chris Slippy Toad Wrights. Do a barrel roll. Dan Falco Lombardi Rots.
Man, I don't like this Fox McCloud guy.
Will General Pepper Shell.
I don't remember which one that is.
He's the dog who like gives orders and stuff. And Allison Peppy Hair Vandevender.
I literally don't know what she says.
Okay, so Peppy the Hare is the one who says do a barrel roll. Slippy.
Oh, I thought Slippy.
No, Slippy the Toad goes, "Help me, Fox! Help me! They're on my tail!" And she's really.
Peppy, Slippy is like the most annoying one of all of them.
Yeah, that's why I thought
What
that
were you trying to say?
do a barrel roll. Ouch.
Today, on the first half of the show.
We don't want to do this.
Today? All right. I'm not even through the intro yet. Fuck. Today on the first half of the show, we'll go back to our predictions from January 1st of 2018 and see how we did for this year. And then in the second half, we'll make some 2019 predictions. But first, it's time for a beer. Chris, what are we drinking this week?
The champagne of beers.
Yeah,
yes.
Miller High Life.
Yeah.
Hear that? I have to take it out of the paper bag I got it in first.
What I really enjoy is all the different enjoy is all of the different ways you can buy Miller High Life. So mine came in little 7-ounce bottles for when you just want a little bit of beer. But I am gonna put them all, I think, into just one liter glass.
You don't want to feel like a giant and just drink them tiny?
No, I want to.
It's not that much.
That actually sounds awesome, to be honest with you.
It makes me feel like I've drank 6 beers.
You're like Andre the Giant. You're just like, beer, please.
And then I think, Dan, you have like an actual champagne bottle full of Miller High Life.
It's a 24-ounce Miller High Life. It has in like fancy script, it says the champagne of beers. And it's the 2018 pressing of the bottle. So
I just got to say, Dan, you drank High Life for the 40s episode, right?
I did, yes.
You got off so fucking easy.
I did.
This is like so high quality in comparison to the other garbage we drank on that episode.
It really is. I'm so sorry, you guys. I kind of wussed out a little bit.
I will say I did notice when I was purchasing my Miller High Life, apparently Natty Bo comes in 40s now too, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
Natty Bo is too classy for 40s. Come on, Natty Bo.
Natty Bo's not classy.
You need to represent with that mustache. Okay, so yeah, Miller High Life, the champagne of beers, 4.6% alcohol by volume.
That's more than you think. It's got 7 IBUs, so it's basically water.
Oh.
Yeah, it's yeah, there it is.
Established in 1903.
Yeah, it says it on here, established 1903.
And Dan, you have the 2018.
Yeah, it's the 2018 version.
Vintage.
It's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I used to go with my parents to Milwaukee and watch the minor league hockey team, the Milwaukee Admirals, play.
Nice. Were they good?
They were really good at boxing.
Nice.
I'm not sure where the hockey part came in, but they did fight well.
I've heard minor league hockey is like pretty fun to watch.
It's super fun to watch.
Face punching.
Yeah, I just remember there being lots of fights.
Yeah. Wait, Allison can't drink beer. What's she drinking?
This is a classic lawnmower beer.
I'm drinking the champagne of champagnes, which is champagne.
Okay.
Any particular brand or anything?
A cheap one. I got Barefoot.
Okay.
Barefoot.
Barefoot. Yeah, barefoot
feet.
bubbly. Yeah.
Like,
Very popular among the college kids here. So
I could be a real bring a GameBrew fact in right here.
Please tell us about bare feet.
That's actually not champagne. That is sparkling wine, I believe, or maybe
Why does the bottle
prosecco.
lie?
Because
say
does it
Prosecco.
actually say champagne on it?
Yeah.
Does it? The region
I made
it's from?
sure of it.
The region it's from is Champagne, France.
No, but it says champagne.
That is very interesting because I was pretty sure that champagne
It says-
only came from Champagne, France.
Yeah, it says,
it was
it says it's from California, but it says California champagne.
Oh, it's California champagne. That's what it is.
Will, look, I mean, not Will. Ian. No, not Ian.
I didn't
Chris is a champagne expert now, apparently.
No, I just know that that's a thing.
Nah, I grabbed a bottle that said champagne. I made sure.
California
That's
champagne.
all I know. Yeah, sure. I don't know. You act like I know this stuff. I don't like bubbly things anyway, so I've never had champagne.
Well, it gets you drunk real fast.
Apparently, it's according to VinePair.
No.
This is a 100-year-old loophole that makes California champagne legal.
There you go.
California loopholes are legendary indeed. Speaking of legendary, can we talk about the games that we played this past week? We all bought games for each other because it was the Yule times, and I think we did a pretty good job, except for whoever bought Dan a game.
That's amazing. I did
Whenever I thought that
great.
sounded awesome.
No,
He
but for
sounded
real,
like he was
though.
having fun with Shower with
For
Your
real
Dad
though,
Simulator.
tell us about Shower with Your Dad. Dan.
It's actually fairly addicting to Shower with Your Dad Simulator
Yes!
2015. So basically, the game itself, there's a few different modes. There's Enduro Dad, where you're one sort of... Yeah, so you're basically, you are a child and you have to shower with your dad, but not any of the other dads. There are three
Who are
dads
in-
that you could shower with. One is white with black hair, one is black, and one is white with orange hair. And so you have to match up with whatever dad is yours. In Enduro Dad, you're only one type of kid, and you have to find your dad over and over again, but it gets increasingly harder.
Because more dads appear.
Well, sometimes more dads appear as you get like past level 100, or as you shower with your dad 100 times, and then another dad appears, and you have to be like, oh no, another dad, but he looks very similar to your dad. And then there's also
Hold on, back up. How is this game controlled? Is it point and click?
it's you have to use the arrow keys. It's like a little 2D like pixelated thing, and all you're doing is running around. Just a little screen that's like, it's probably a little bit less than your monitor size, and there's pixelated dads that are showering that you have to do, or to go shower with.
Yeah.
So
and so that cycle just repeats?
yes, for Enduro Dad, there's Dad.
Are there any?
Yeah, there's Dadathlon.
sorry.
Dadathlon is where it randomly switches what kid you are to go shower with different dads. There's Dad Divisions, which is where it's kind of like not asteroids. The one where it's kind of like Space Invaders, where the dads are falling down with their showers, and you have to switch whatever kid you are to match whatever dad you're trying to stop.
Oh my god,
And then
this is really
you can
weird.
unlock new modes.
I love how weird it is.
You can unlock new modes. I unlocked Inglorious Bath Dads yesterday, which is where you're flying a bathtub and trying to catch your dad, but not any of the other dads. You shoot all the other dads in their own bathtubs. So it's honestly,
Dan.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun as hell. Like I find myself sitting down, like I'm like, I should play a little bit of Shower with Your Dad Simulator, and then just like the thing you complained about me with is where I'm like, fuck, how come I couldn't do that? Like I do that with Shower with Your Dad. I was like, oh, I had 105 dads. Gosh darn it, that wasn't my dad.
Oh, that wasn't my dad.
Well, I'm really glad you enjoyed it, Dan. I was worried about that.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Best 99 cents
You're
Allison's ever
welcome.
spent, I bet.
All right.
It is.
So, who spent some cents on Allison?
I did.
Yeah.
And Allison, how was Chris's game that he got you?
Oh, it was really fun because it felt really nostalgic for me because I loved Katamari Damacy back on PlayStation 2. And so he got me Katamari Damacy Reroll. And I mean, it's the same concept as every Katamari Damacy game, and amazing.
Is it actually a new game, or is it like a remaster of previous Katamaris?
I can't remember the original Katamari.
It's a remaster of the first Katamari.
I thought it was. I was going to say, it seems really familiar, but I don't know how much they changed the story. I mean, you're a little prince rolling balls. Does it change in any of them? I don't know.
I mean, the reason why you're rolling the balls up changes.
True.
Okay, there you go.
Because I think in this, one of them, the King of all Cosmos gets drunk and just like loses or destroys all the stars and planets, and you have to make new ones.
And the newest
by
one,
rolling stuff up.
Yeah, and the newest one, I think he's asleep, and you have to try and wake up the King of the Cosmos. And there's a stand-in robot King of all the Cosmos.
Oh, I know. I think it was We Heart Katamari that you had to try to roll up the sun at the end.
Yeah.
Some people have theorized that the rolling up and the collecting of things in Katamari is sort of an allegory for how we operate in capitalism. Do you have any feelings on that?
Oh, I mean,
like, you know, we just acquire stuff, and it's all like meaningless, and then we end up like destroying the things we love around us by collecting things.
You know what else it could be is that it's just
rolling
fun to roll
balls
shit
up.
I'm asking. I'm just throwing it out there.
I never gave it that much thought. I guess back in the day when I played it and it was on PS2, I just thought it was super cute and fun. But now that you're like warping my mind, I'm probably going to cry the next time I play this. Thank you.
I'll cry because it's beautiful.
Mission accomplished.
It was really fun. I mean, the controls are a little awkward, but I feel like it's just because I haven't played it ever on a computer, so it felt weird because I didn't have my joystick.
You didn't play with like a controller?
You got to use a game controller.
I don't have a controller for my computer. I guess I could link my
you have an Xbox
360. Yeah, or my I could have linked my Xbox,
that bad
but I didn't
boy
think
in.
about it, I guess.
So lazy.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to try it, I guess, on the computer. I didn't think through like actually trying to use a controller. It felt weird. I didn't like it as much without the controller, so I'd probably do it again with the controller.
I think you should do it with the controller.
Easier.
I will. But it was fun. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Good job, Chris.
I've been really enjoying it on the Switch too. It's really good on that.
And Chris, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a game from Ian called Bad North.
Bad North. Bad.
And so it's I really like the so it's a kind of like a lo-fi like the art is not simple. It's very simple and not too much detail, but it's kind of cute, and I really like that. But the premise is basically you're defending islands from Viking invaders, and each different level is a different island, and you have a couple different troops. It's an RTS. You have a couple different troop types that you can upgrade over time as you defend your islands, and as you go on, it becomes more the enemies you fight become increasingly more difficult, and they fight with different strategies. So it's cool, and it's deceptively simple, but also like at a certain point it becomes very difficult because they start throwing a bunch of stuff at you, and you get to the point where basically you're gonna lose. I played through on my first playthrough. I played on normal, and at the end they tell you how far you got, and I got 71% through.
Wow.
Which was, I don't know. I think
that's pretty good.
It's all right. That's all right.
Is there enough? Is it complex enough to keep you coming back?
It's a game that I think I would actually like it better as like a on my phone.
Oh man. Damn. Okay.
Which isn't a bad thing. Just because I think it's simple enough to be on that platform, and I think it actually is coming out there eventually. But I think it has enough there. Like if you're on a train or just like on a bus or something, you can break it out and do a couple levels. I don't know if it works as like a good like if you're trying to get some serious gaming in, it really holds itself up. Just because you only are allowed to have 3 different troop types.
Right.
So there's not a lot of depth as far as as RTSs go. Like a lot of depth. Like it's a kind of like a rock paper scissors
setup. Cycle.
Yes. Yeah. So like there's swordy shieldy guys, then there's pike guys that can't attack while they're moving, but like if they set up they can really beat the crap out of the swordy shieldy guys. Then there's archers, and the archers destroy the pike guys, but then the archers get destroyed by the sword and shieldy guys. So it's like it's kind of like a rock paper scissors thing. So I enjoyed it, but like I don't know if it has a lot more that I could see from it. I mean, I think I can do it. Like it's a good game before going to bed. You know,
got it.
Yeah.
Or if you get stuck at the airport or something.
Yeah,
guys, I'm stuck at the airport.
Yeah. So it was good. I will say it was good, but I think I wish there was a little more to it. Like
Okay.
I wanted a little more depth as far as like the unit types.
Okay.
Maybe they'll add.
I do hope that it comes out for mobile then. That would be a cool release.
Yeah, I think it would be really good for mobile.
All right. So I received a copy of the game Below, BELOW.
Like that movie.
Like the
I
movie?
already made that joke. I made that joke last week.
We already made that
Johnny
joke.
Depp?
I already made that joke.
From Will, and it's hard.
Oh,
Really?
It's not just like hard mechanically, it doesn't care about you, the player.
no.
And not even in a way that I feel is rewarding. So it kind of wants, so this is a game that wants to be a roguelike, and it wants to be a survival game, and it wants to be sort of like an isometric Dark Souls all at the same time. So like the combat's really tight, and it's fun when you're actually doing the little combat bits. But it's all of that is really weighed down by the nature of the roguelike, and the survival aspects, which seem kind of tacked on. So all of that, but then throw all of that together, and then they don't give you any instructions and no directions. So there's not even like intelligent like paths, like not even like an arrow pointing somewhere, but like a path that points you in the direction where you need to go at the beginning of the game. You can literally like not start this game by just wandering around in the wrong direction at the beginning, and it's slow. It's slow. So it's been really hard to like crack the surface of it. I don't know if I'm ready to write it off completely.
So it's hard to get below the surface.
It's hard to get below the surface, but I don't like. The problem is that a game like this, I would dig in if I felt like there was enough to discover or enough to like the unexpected that I might find later on. But there's nothing that I'm like excited to go do. That's the reason that you keep going forward in Dark Souls. That's the reason that you keep going forward in other roguelikes, is like, I gotta beat this boss, or I gotta like figure out how to get that chest, or I gotta figure out like how to get a new weapon or something. But this is just like, you just keep going to different levels that get harder, and you have less resources, and it doesn't care about you. The opening to this game is like a 4-minute slow zoom in on a pixel, and it just like
Interesting.
and it takes forever. You're sitting there, and thank God I was intoxicated while this was happening, and I was like, just sitting there watching like this camera zoom in on the boat took forever.
For those of you who can't see what's going on right now, Ian was sitting with his mouth open and his eyes agape and just staring.
Eyes glazed over.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
So I really appreciate that Capybara does games that are atmospheric and stylish, but I really think this one missed the mark. If you want something like this, that's not necessarily this, I would really suggest Hyper Light Drifter. It's a great title, very similar in terms of its approach to gameplay, but it actually makes sense.
Nice.
It was, Will, I think you checked all the boxes for things I liked. Capybara just missed the mark on this one.
I made an effort.
It was like in Steam, and it was just like underneath of the game, it was just said, Ian might like this.
Yeah, pretty much. And that leaves Will.
I'm supposed to have been playing Prey, but I haven't had time. I have not.
Oh, Will.
I've had something every night of the week. We had a concert over the weekend. We babysat a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old.
All right, next
They
episode.
would have loved Prey.
No.
Next episode,
Well,
you come back
Well, I
with
was
what
going
you
to do
think.
it tonight,
Yeah.
but then I was like, oh, we have to record the podcast, so
It's
guess I'm not playing. Guess I'm not playing yet.
Prey's just like Dora the Explorer, except when you find the map, it might kill you.
Oh, good. Good. I kind of expect it to be. Here are my expectations: first person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
unable to see my feet.
You might be
can
able to
see
see
your
your feet.
Can you see your feet in that game?
Might be able to.
Oh, Chris, you played it, right?
Yeah, I played it. I can't remember. I mean, it was a while ago.
It was
right-handed
almost
weapon
exactly a year
holding.
ago, actually.
It was, because Alex gave it to me last year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction for this game that you cannot aim down the iron sights.
I don't know if there's iron sights
I'm going to
because
say it's crosshairs
on account of
Space.
On account of it's in space.
They're actually just iridium sites is what they call them.
No, I am excited about playing it now that I've got a couple of weeks off to hopefully have time.
Must be cool to have weeks off at a time.
boy.
Oh, I don't want to hear it. I work like a 72-hour work week every week.
That's okay.
But then you get like 2 months off. So
Okay.
it evens out.
Whoa, let's not have the teacher
Tangent.
conversation right now.
Tangent.
Nope, we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Don't let your girlfriend who is a teacher and lives with you hear you going like
No,
this.
she knows my feelings on it because
She understands the hours and the
Tell her to
time
come in-
away from
tell her to
home.
come- It's okay to
Holy
come in and slap
okay, okay. This is not the Game Teach podcast.
probably more
out.
like the Brew Teach
the
con.
Teach Game podcast. Future topic.
Teach Brew game.
You motherfuckers, you are not disrailing
Future-
this podcast. Dan,
Disrailing?
Dan,
Did you mean
Future
derailing?
topic. Future topic. Games that helped us learn. Games we played in elementary school on the
We
computers.
didn't we
we did this.
We,
Things-
we did
things we learned.
things we learned from video games.
No, but
Yeah.
games that taught us things like
That's
literally,
the same
like,
as things
no,
we
no, no,
learned
like
from games.
Math Blaster, Zoom Beanies.
We already talked about Matt Blaster.
Fuck, never mind.
Because I talked about
Anyways.
Total War and teaching
true.
me about geography and history.
Okay, all right. Can I
I'm just gonna
can I
pull the
request
screen back on the.
can I request that somebody gets me one of those yellow football flags where we start to get off topic so I can just
Yes,
throw
you
it at the
can.
webcam.
But yeah, I'm excited to be playing it. I hope to start it in the next day or two here. And
You got it.
I believe in
Let
you.
us know how
now
it
that I
is.
got some spare time.
Yeah,
I'm
it's going to be a good
interested.
time.
So far, I've seen 2 people receive that game, and I have yet to play it. So
Dan, you would like it.
I know, which is why I'm surprised I still haven't. I don't have it. See?
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to topic one. Topic one this week, we're going to look back at our predictions for 2018 at the very beginning of the year. And we'll start. I'm going to start with me because I nailed this one. I nailed it.
Fucking did it,
I
dude.
said last year that the Switch will sell more than 20 million units this year. And lo and behold, as of October, it had sold 22.86 million. Probably going to cap out with like 25-ish, 24, 25.
Something like that. And
It's beautiful. Beautiful thing.
Switchy boys.
it's
That's worldwide. Yes, that should be worldwide.
I believe so.
Yeah, it is. It is.
yeah, I hated on this, I think, last year.
You did.
did.
You were very. You were like, nah, I don't think so. I mean, it's okay, but there's not a lot of great stuff that's coming out for it.
Yeah, and then
Well,
they came
no,
out with
what-
a bunch
what-
of great stuff.
Yeah, what Chris said was, well, maybe we can just roll the tape.
No, don't do that. That's going to take so long to put in.
Okay. What Chris said was it's all going to depend on the games that come out for the Switch. And lo and behold, we've had a ton of really great games that have come to the Switch. A lot of them, admittedly, have been re-releases from other consoles or from PC, but it's sold.
So
sold.
great games.
But I
Crazy.
mean, Smash and Mario Party are
2 big sellers.
2 really good reasons to buy a Switch.
Yeah.
If you have friends that you like to play games with.
The
Well,
Switch
like,
is
I don't have
actually
any
the
of those.
fastest selling console in this generation's history.
And
or of this generation.
And just generally on the store right now, like Everspace came out the other day. Do you guys know Everspace?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's like a roguelike space shooter. Like you're in a spaceship and it's a roguelike. So you like get new weapons and then you warp to the next zone. Then you like get new engines. Then you warp to the next zone and fight some more guys. There's just like so much. Hyper Light Drifter is actually up there. Firewatch is now on the Switch store. Yeah. Like there's all kinds of good stuff on the Switch store. So they're embracing Guacamelee. Yes,
they're basically trying to bring like I feel like almost like the entire Steam library that's not like pushing the boundaries of graphic limitations.
Yeah,
they're just trying to bring it all, which is great.
It's perfect. That's what you want to do.
Yeah,
gets people in.
It's awesome.
Because I mean, is Everspace basically like Elite Dangerous Light?
Kinda, yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. So,
good job, Ian. You nailed it.
Let's put a check mark on that one. That's the ka-ching sound or whatever.
I didn't really make any other predictions. I was kind of light on predictions last year.
You were.
I have here 2018 will be the year that there's a system selling VR games.
Yes. System selling VR games did not happen.
Just in general, can I talk about how last year we were just like, VR's the future, guys. It's going to happen. Except for Will. Will was like, nah, dude. And
I will say, though, I did say that there's going to be more reasonably priced VR, and there is.
There is. And I said it was going to die, and it hasn't, and it actually has. Alex was right. It has grown, just not by much. I pulled up the statistics for it. Oculus and HTC in 2017 HTC sold worldwide, shipped. This does not mean sold, but the company shipped 500,000. Oculus shipped 700,000. In 2018, both of those numbers rose. HTC 600,000 and Oculus just shy of 1 million. So it is going up and projected to get higher.
Well, and that's not even including, so the headsets, the VR headsets that I was referring to that have become cheaper are actually the Windows mixed reality headsets. And there's a bunch of different companies. Okay. Lenovo, Acer are all coming out with them. There was a deal, I think, earlier this week, which was, I think it was 12/19 and 12/18. I saw a VR headset with controller, like handsets, for $140.
Whoa.
Yeah, but that's one of the ones that comes with its like own set of proprietary games, right? Like it doesn't have access to
you have access to the Steam VR library.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
I still don't feel, and I could, but I don't feel a compelling reason to go get a VR setup, whether it's...
There's not a killer app yet. If
I had space for it in my apartment, I would have it.
I think... Sorry, Dave.
No, you go, Ian.
I was going to say, until there's a mainstream game that really blows the doors off with VR, like it's going to be like a Halo VR or something, where everybody feels like, okay, now I have to get in. It's not
Skyrim VR.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like all the titles that have come out for it have been like the word before and then like light or it's slightly jankier, but you can look around with your head. You know what I mean? It hasn't been a true VR title, with the possible exception of Resident Evil 7, which seemed like it really just knocked it out of the park.
Elite Dangerous,
but Elite Dangerous is so niche.
But it would be such a good VR title.
It is, but niche.
I don't know. I think, if I had space for it in my apartment, I would have one.
I think that's the problem is we're millennials and we all live in apartments. We don't have enough room for any of this stuff.
Are we millennials?
We're millennials.
We're absolutely millennials.
I don't
know. If
we're on the early side.
Do you want me to look up
that?
No, we're not. No, we're right in the middle. Demographers and researchers typically use the early 1980s as starting birth years and the mid 1990s to early 2000s as ending years for the Generation Y millennials.
So we're millennials.
There you go.
So we're millennials.
So we killed Applebee's, you guys.
Applebee's is garbage. I'm fine with that. Chris, you predicted that Cyberpunk 2020 would release this
2077.
2077. New one.
Yes,
Sorry.
thank you.
Do you want to
Did
try
I type
again,
it
Ian?
wrong?
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 would release this year.
Yeah, I said that. I guess I was just wishful thinking.
I think you said
You wanted
that.
it real bad.
You really you wanted it.
They did release a lot of they did have a playable demo at E3. So it's coming.
Yeah.
Coming.
It'll be,
I was very wrong on that. But I was right about saying Red Dead Redemption 2 would be pushed back, and it was. It was pushed back in February to October.
Nailed it.
Nice.
But it still released last year.
Oh no, but I just said it was going to be pushed back again.
Yeah.
That's true. He did.
Dan,
Yeah.
you nailed the Shenmue 3 prediction not coming out this year.
I did. But yeah. Shenmue 3, it didn't come
Does it have a date for next year yet?
It has a date.
Well, I don't want to
does
jump
have a
onto my
date.
predictions for later, so I don't want to talk about it right now.
Oh, are you gonna get on the
I'm gonna
Shenmue
get on
train?
that old Shenmue horse
boy.
and give you another piece of Dan Roth's wisdom here.
All right. Speaking of other Dan Roth's predictions, also Switch won't drop below $299.99.
No, it
Good.
didn't do that. That was a cop out.
really.
I was like, it's the first year of this console. It's probably not gonna.
It is for sale right now. You can get a $25 gift card with it, but it is still at $300.
$200.
And also GTA 6 will release or get a big showing at one of the shows.
I didn't. Instead, it was just Red Dead Redemption 2 stuff. And but they do have an online component to Red Dead Redemption 2, which is kind of like they started the beta for that recently, which that's going to take a lot more time than saying here's a Red Dead and a GTA 6, coming out. And
Yeah, the nature of the large, incredibly interactive, content-heavy online portions of GTA and Red Dead, I think, is really going to slow down production cycles for main titles.
And,
It sure did for 5.
yes, it did. And of course, and 5, they just put out a new expansion for 5 too, with arena stuff and crazy.
Did they come out with a battle royale?
On the one hand, I'm super glad that they are supporting their game and continuing to make it have different aspects and keep it interesting for people who already own it. And most of that has been free or small priced. But at the same time, I'm kind of come on, guys, let's move forward.
There's a very dedicated GTA 5 online following. They have a lot of people who are playing online still. So,
well, good for them. I hope they're having
and
fun.
RPing and all kinds of stuff with it.
Chris, you talked about being excited for A Way Out.
I did.
And you played it.
I did.
And?
I enjoyed the experience. I only played it once. I played it with my buddy Tyler, and we had a really good long evening together playing it. So yeah, it was it did get emotional at the end. He was very angry because of the ending. But I thought it was good. I thought it was really cool the way they made it so that you had to play it with someone else. You couldn't just have a computer play the other character, and it forced you to have a connection.
And
but
one of the things that you talked about being worried about was having to buy a copy for each person who's playing, but in incredibly un-EA style.
Yes,
they opened the game up so that if you bought it, you could invite a buddy to play on a different system.
Which is brilliant. You didn't have to have 2 copies of it, and that was great. And it was only $30 too. But I just don't. There's not a lot of replayability. And there was some of there was a lot of filler gameplay. I feel but I think the idea was good. I think
it opened a door.
Yeah, I agree.
Allison, did you play it as well?
Yeah, I played it with my friend Andrew. He bought it, so I jumped in on it with him.
What were your thoughts?
I really liked some of it, but it was too simplistic. It was my biggest complaint is that I didn't feel like I really had control over what was happening in the game or failing. Failing was very hard. It would have those jump reactions that you're supposed to do, but it was really hard to not get them. And it was basically just pushing a button, not a different button every time or a combo or something to make something not happen. I thought they could have done a lot of cool things with it, and I think they will in the future. But it was a good start to what could be a really fun gameplay genre.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Will, you were excited about Detroit Become Human.
Never played it.
Oh, why?
What?
Why not?
That's the question, right?
I just never got around to it. I mean, life happens. You got
no, for sure. But like, you made the commitment, you made the effort to play other games in 2018. So why wasn't this one of them?
I don't know.
Ooh, I know why.
I don't know.
Chris knows why too, I think.
No, that's not what I was going to
well, I was going to say it's because you didn't buy a PS4 until like very recently. So
summer. Well, so I mean, half the year I couldn't play it.
When did you get? Oh, right, because that's when I got God of War. Right, yeah, and that was the same time. Okay.
So, I mean, that's part of it. The other part is just, I mean, I had other things I was excited about playing. And I'm still excited about it. I'm not there yet.
So I played the demo at PAX East this year, and I thought it was very cool. Like, it was very immersive and a very good idea. The way that like they were forcing you to make decisions and kind of doing investigations, but not. You didn't have unlimited time. They were like in the demo. I had very limited time and to try to talk basically a robot or an android out of trying to kill this little girl. And I think having the pressure, but also just kind of like the human conversations were really cool. That being said, and like I was excited about it at PAX East. That being said, I didn't buy it either because there were so many other games around that time.
Yeah, 2018 was a good year for games.
Oh, for sure. And we'll talk about that more.
We said that last year. God damn it.
I played it and it was lots of fun.
Oh, you did play it?
Yeah, I got it as a gift.
Did you roll credits on it?
I haven't rolled credits, no. Okay. I only played through like the first little bit so far. But really great. Feels like playing a movie. It would be enjoyable to just watch. I don't feel like I'd have to play it necessarily to enjoy this. It had a lot of Until Dawn notes, obviously, for me, but it took that and made it better. Nice. So I do think they've grown and learned from that. So, yeah.
Did you play Heavy Rain?
I did not play Heavy Rain. Okay. That was one I did not play. But I've heard,
that's why I was kind of confused, Will, as to why you didn't get to it. Because I know Heavy Rain was something that you really got into.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of it just has to do with the new job and just being busy with that, I think.
Ugh, adulting. It's so hard.
Priorities.
Gross.
You know?
I know. We're all old. Gotta get some 12-year-olds
on this podcast.
The only
time I'm really going to have to sink my teeth into a serious game is Christmas break right now, and then again in summer break.
Well, so what's on your plate? What are you gonna do?
I'll Prey.
Well, I'm going to do Prey. I'm going to finish Shadow of War.
Nice.
And then I think I'm going to hop into Hellblade. Senua's
Sacrifice.
Okay.
I've heard good things.
I've been play a bunch of things.
I've been wanting to it
in 10 hours.
Get that? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. What else do we got? Dan, you were excited about Red Dead Redemption 2, and I believe it has lived up to your expectations. Oh
my god, so much. But can I want to say, I'm going to derail this train again because because of the thing that we talked about a lot on the thing that we were talking about, like on our last year's episode of Where Do We See the Year Going. We talked about PUBG a lot and about the whole how Battle Royale was a really cool thing. And how we could never have imagined that the Battle Royale scene had exploded as much as it did this year. Mm-hmm. Like from whenever PUBG had just released in 1.0 and Fortnite was just starting to be there, and we were like, oh yeah, the Fortnite's doing this thing where they have this kind of battle royale mode, which seems like it could be kind of interesting, and now it's this huge it's like $1 billion thing.
It's a cultural phenomenon. It's not just a game. Yeah,
that was 1 year ago, and that's changed. It's amazing to me. I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption is great.
No, that's interesting, and I honestly think that battle royale genre Ooh, but I'll leave that for predictions for the second half, actually.
Oh, you should.
I'll leave it alone.
Some things to say about that.
I've got something to say about it.
I think a lot of us have things to say about
Do
it.
you think someone has something to say about it?
I bet.
I drank the entire 24-ounce thing of my beer already. Sorry.
All right. What else do we got here?
Alex had some predictions. He said VR is going to grow. It did.
A little bit, yeah.
Talked about that.
Oh.
Hair will be more of a buzzword. He was excited about the Harry Potter Wizards Unite, which has not come out yet.
But I saw an ad. For
yes. I saw it at the movie theaters for it when I saw the newest Harry Potter movie.
Yeah. I didn't see it,
so-
but I saw it on
day.
the internet. But
I think it's not going to do very well.
Ooh.
Why do you
I
think
agree.
that?
I think that it was brought up to be during the highest high of Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Go is not as popular right now.
Do you think Pokemon Go has been helped by the fact of by Pikachu Let's Go and Eevee Let's Go?
No.
Really?
No. I think they're not related at all.
Well, I mean, they are, though, because you can import Pokemon from Pokemon Go into them.
I don't know a single person who has.
I got more interested because of it.
Fair. But
So I guess anecdotal.
As far as like I know quite a few people are pretty serious about it. I don't think they're really playing it that way.
But Allison, Harry Potter.
Well, yes, I think Harry Potter has a huge following, but the release of the last the last Harry Potter game.
Well, okay. Well, that was.
No, but you saw the hype and the flop.
Yep.
So now this one was announced before that game, by the way. This one was announced before that game was even known. It's had such a flop. I think it's going to affect the release of this game. Also, Niantic has had so many problems with Pokemon Go. I think it's going to hurt the release of that game. I really just don't think that game's going to hit like it should.
Okay.
Or was going to.
Right, I rescind my finger raise.
What I think is interesting about it is that somehow Niantic has managed to build relationships to where it gets control over these incredibly large and powerful franchises. I mean, if you just think about the idea of them making Pokemon Go in the first place, it's like Ingress was such like a tiny little nerd game that like some guy showed me on his phone one day. I was like, yo, you like video games? Check this shit out, man.
Like,
It's
was it in a back alley?
with polygons. It kind of was.
Was he wearing a trench coat?
He kind of was.
I'm so sorry.
But what I'm saying is like, yeah, there were problems and there are problems with Pokemon Go, but I think Pokemon Go is also one of those mobile games that has incredible staying power. And so I wouldn't be surprised actually if Wizarding, what's it called? Wizards Unite ends up being a monetary success, if not a critical one.
We'll see.
Wizards Unite!
Wizards
You have to say it like that. You have to go, it's like, Harry Potter, Wizards Unite! Like you're a wizard.
I wonder if the Pokemon battles that were just added to Pokemon Go will also kind of carry over in a way to
Dueling,
like
for
dueling.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. They've had a chance to...
It's like a third iteration of...
Yeah, they've had a chance to refine and improve on the original Pokemon Go formula, so hopefully their next mobile release is a little bit more fleshed out, shall we say.
I just feel like they're too small of a company to take on everything they're about to, and they're going to have server crashes again, and it's going to piss people off again. I don't know. We'll see.
100% for sure they'll fuck up the launch. Not even a question in my mind.
Yeah.
Alex was also really excited about God of War.
So good.
Yeah.
It was so
He
good.
turned out to be completely right about
It
it.
was the best.
I'm going to be a devil's advocate, though, because
what?
I thought the game was super good. Cinematically
You better-
beautiful.
You better watch
Had some of the best boss battles I've seen in a very long time.
Some of the best
but,
banter.
But-
What do you
some of
mean,
the best
but?
voice acting.
That is a big
but should I take a big drink before I say this?
You probably
so,
The best
The thing
voice
is-
actor since Geralt.
Geralt?
Dan, don't start with that shit.
Geralt?
The thing is, I was annoyed by the camera I really was. And
Name a God of War game you haven't been
I know, but the whole time, all I can think is why, when they were testing this or playing this or doing anything with this, didn't they think, let's just move the camera back a little bit? And it really messed with throwing axes for me. I don't know. It was very awkward in a lot of parts. And also the canoe, driving the canoe.
You didn't like the stories?
That's how the story was gotten to you.
I love the stories.
I love that. Did you like trying to control the canoe, though?
I was fine with it because I got to hear stories.
I don't know. Turning didn't work for me.
Well,
Maybe
it's
my
a canoe.
TV.
Have you tried to turn a canoe?
Have you ever been in a canoe in real life?
Yeah, once, but I didn't see it. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just a lot of the controls for movement and fighting just were really awkward for me. And it was all with the camera being like right there in his mid back, like it was.
You
I don't
didn't
know.
like his mid back?
It was a fine mid back.
It was fine.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
the hardest
that was
part
my
to
thing.
shave.
No, those are legit things to be upset about.
Yeah, you're right.
I did not like the camera.
Did you just give me all that shit?
I didn't-
Somebody
I didn't
agreed with
notice.
me?
Yeah, I was giving you shit. No, I think it was overshadowed by the other parts of the game. For me, at least for me.
Beautiful. I was just playing devil's advocate with the issues I had.
That's actually going to lead me into the way I want to end this segment. What was your favorite game of the year?
Chris wants to end the segment now.
I think it's
Mr.
time.
Just like,
Thanks,
I think
host.
it's
give me
time.
that wheel. I'm taking that wheel.
I think it's time.
Take it away.
I'd like to talk about what we thought our favorite games of the year. Our favorite game of the year.
Ooh, you want me to just whip a game of the year out?
Just like,
Yeah, I
we
want you to
want
whip
to
it
do that
out.
just
here?
undo
All right,
that belt.
all right, I'm good.
Is that going
I mean, it's
fit
not going to
here?
be in the next.
I got it.
It's,
I got it. I'm ready.
mine was God of War. I think.
Yeah, mine
I
was
think that
God
was
of
the one
War
that most
also.
impacted me.
Me and Chris. High five,
Like,
Chris. High five.
Boop boop. Thanks, boy.
Boy.
I didn't play Spider-Man. I want to. I think Red Dead is good, but it's not drawing me in like God of War did.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Celeste.
Okay.
Really?
The game was absolutely 100% incredible. It pulled my heartstrings. It was super fun to play. I loved every second of it. And it was hard. And I think I'm a better person for having played it. And you don't get that with every video game.
That's nice.
And apparently, it's going to be one of the games with gold for Xbox Live in January. So
Yo, get that
That's
shoe.
great.
that's awesome.
Will and Allison, take your time because this is an impromptu. Chris was just like, I want to end this segment by having another segment in the show. Here we go,
like a real
bitches.
quick,
And we did do it last year, so we do kind of
like-
have to do it.
It's just... I wasn't expecting it. It's going to
Me neither.
make everything
I
go
don't- come on,
long.
just what did you play this year?
Okay,
that
when you
would-
think of game of the year, what do you think of?
I think it'll be Red Dead, but I don't
No,
have a
what is
game.
your
No,
game
your
of the
game
year?
of the year.
Your game.
I don't
Not-
have one for me. Absolutely
When did
nothing
Horizon
sticks out.
Zero Dawn come out, though? Was it
Not
end of
this
last
year.
year?
Yeah, but did you
Okay,
play it this
see.
year?
But is that your game of the year?
I played it this year, but I'm not going to count it then. I'm going to go with Detroit Become Human
Nice.
for a game that released this year that I've genuinely enjoyed. And I haven't got to finish, but it's not because I don't want to. I think it's beautiful and I really love everything about it.
my
I just
God.
haven't had time because it is one you need to sit and play. So that's going to be my game of the
I
year.
love that you said that it's beautiful. Like, that's a good way to describe it. It's a beautiful
is.
game.
It is.
Yeah, I don't have one. Nothing sticks out to me from this year's. I'm so glad that I played this.
Well,
Maybe Sea of Thieves.
I'm glad you said that. I really think Sea of Thieves is going to be Game of the Year 2019.
When it's fully released.
This is my
basically.
skeptical phase.
I honestly want to go back and play it with you guys again because every time I log in, I'm like, oh my God, we would have so much fun doing this and that and this and that and just like goofing around. I really want to get back into it.
Well, there you go. That's a good way to jump into the second half. But
Yeah.
we need a break, right?
All right, we do need a break.
I gotta
Allison, do you want to do the break intro?
No.
No, all you gotta say is
Too
this.
much pressure.
No, all you gotta say is, all right, that's it for the first half. When we come back, we're gonna talk about our predictions for 2019. Stick with us.
All right, that's it for the first half. Now we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll talk about our predictions for 2019.
Stick with us.
Stick with us.
Nailed it. Hello and welcome back to the second half of the GameBrew podcast, episode 46. We're making some bold predictions, but first it's time to check in with the beer. Is everybody high on their high life?
I drank it all.
I have heartburn.
Dance. That's how I feel. I was like enjoying it for a second, and I was like, "Oh boy, I don't feel so good." It's this dirty Milwaukee water.
Yeah,
that brewed with.
Yeah, it's.
Dan, are you cheating? Are you cheating on the High Life?
I am.
Beer
I ran
right
out
now?
of High Life, so now I'm drinking an Oscar Blues IPA because
I bet it's a lot better.
it's yummy.
I bet it is a lot
You
better.
want to share some of that?
Oh yeah, here, Chris. I'm just gonna hand this over through the internet.
Oh, thanks. That you have really long arms to bring that like 100 miles to me.
My
sorry.
cheeks are very warm. I'm definitely feeling a little bit, and I don't hate it as much anymore, which is how I know I'm getting tipsy.
Well, that's oh my god! I love that Captain America cup.
Oh, thank you.
Is Cap?
You messed up. It's a Captain America.
Captain America. Is Cap your go-to Avenger?
No,
No. Oh,
No.
Who is your go-to Avenger?
my go-to Avenger is Scarlet Witch.
You would.
Yeah, I would.
She's one of the two. She's one of the two.
One of the two white girls.
No. One of the two people in the Marvel universe that have lost their vision.
Burpader.
You're a piece of shit. Yeah.
The other being Daredevil, of course.
But yeah, I find Cap to be too good, too pure
one-dimensional.
too one-dimensional.
I used to love him.
He's the Superman of the Marvel universe, and I'm just
because he
bored by it.
actually can be killed, whereas Superman's just stupid and bullshit.
He was killed by.
I have strong opinions about how much Superman sucks.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Let's
Me
get
too,
to
but
them
we
another
can do that
time.
We should do that
Another
another
time.
time.
We'll get the long lost heroes back on to talk about that.
All right, so predictions. Who wants to go first? I'm so excited for this. We're going to make some bold predictions for 2019 so we can come back and check on them in 2020. Is that how this works? Oh, God.
Oh, God, wow.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Think about that.
All right, I'm going to do a bold prediction. I think Cyberpunk's going to be released in Q4 this year.
Come on.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk
Q4
has a
at
date.
the earliest.
Yeah, it's going to be
doesn't have a
Q4 at the
date?
earliest. It doesn't have a date.
Oh, okay.
But an
It says
analyst
next
apparently
year.
in one of the next, an analyst said, some analyst, I don't know, said that in the last few days that they will probably release it in Q4 this year, in 2019.
Interesting. Okay, what else you got,
That'll
Chris?
make me very happy. I'm probably going to buy a new processor for my computer.
Yeah.
Is that a prediction or more?
I'm predicting. Well, it kind of goes with it. I'm predicting I will because I don't think I would do it otherwise unless it was like going to be a big upgrade. Because I'm
Why
pretty
are
set.
you getting one?
Because I think that AMD is going to come out with something that's real good. They're switching to another. They're going to a 7 nanometer process instead of the 12 nanometer that they're already at.
Yeah.
And there's the potential to have not only more cores but also higher clocks. There's been a leak that it looks almost too good to be true. But if it is true, if it's anywhere close to it, it could be game changing, and Intel wouldn't be in trouble because it's Intel and they have like 80% market share. But
I just don't. I don't know. I don't trust AMD after the whole hype and I don't want to say letdown, but like general shrug of the Risen release.
for their video cards,
I mean, the video cards and the CPUs both. I
their
feel like they were
CPUs
like,
are
meh.
dominant in the industry.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah,
maybe
they're
I'm just
excellent.
wrong. Okay.
They're, like their new Ryzen stuff is like the first and second generations have been excellent.
They're
They're
good,
not.
but
They
they're
can't clock.
still, if you look at the Steam survey, as far as gamers are concerned, I mean, Intel's still over 80% market.
Yeah, they've had 80% market forever. But I'm saying like for what they're offering is something that doesn't clock as high as Intel, but can give you roughly twice as many cores and threads.
All right. So sorry, go ahead.
But if you're a gamer, do you care about that?
You do if you care about money. If you care about price.
Yeah. Chris, what's your prediction for this aside from like you think you'll buy one? Do you think they'll get to like 70 or 30% market share or something? Like give me a number, man. Give me a number.
Oof.
Put your
7.
I think 25% market share would even be a big jump.
Is that your prediction? Resident will be 25%.
Ooh, that's a big jump.
Of the
I'll say 25%. I think the Ryzen 3000 series could be a huge gain for them.
Okay.
Intel's been struggling with the 10 nanometer, bringing that out. I mean, they're on the 14 plus series of things, and they've been pushing it as hard as they can, and they're struggling right now to bring it out. So, I think that AMD is going to bring out something really nice.
So a quarter.
I'm hoping for it.
Okay.
All right. I like the boldness of this prediction.
Bold.
I think AMD is doing things that you guys aren't really paying a lot of attention to. And
well,
I'm excited.
All right.
Well, I think
Says the guy with an Intel and a NVIDIA graphics card. Intel processor.
Chris, when did you get that cheerleading outfit on? It says AMD across it. That's so weird. That just happened.
Also, that skirt is too short.
My main rig is Intel and NVIDIA.
All right, I got two big predictions, and I'm so in love with Nintendo right now that I feel like I need to just prepare myself for the coming failures. So, 2 things. Number 1, I don't think that the teased Pokemon, the main title release, is going to happen in 2019, nor do I think that Metroid 4 is going to come out in 2019.
So what do you think they're going to bring out in 2019?
I don't know, but I'm like, both of those things are supposed to come out in 2019. I don't think either of them is going to happen.
Why?
Because Nintendo has had too many wins and they're about to fuck it up. As soon as Nintendo like clocks a couple good ones on their belt, they decide like, nope, time to start fucking things up. So just ready for it.
See, I do think Metroid Prime 4 will come out because Nintendo, especially this generation of console, has been really good at like, it'll be a week and a half out. It's like, oh, by the way, this is happening. You know, it's almost like it comes out of nowhere.
It's true, but all we've seen, at least with like Smash and stuff, we had like Nintendo Directs about, you know, like this is what's happening and these are the characters and yada yada. Literally all we've had is a splash screen with Metroid 4 written on it. We have I don't have enough faith in Nintendo to say that they're going to release in a year without having seen anything. Okay. I'm also going to speculate, nay, predict that we'll get PlayStation 5 specs in 2019.
I would agree with that.
There's also rumors about a new Xbox. I think it's called Project Anaconda.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that there's a lot of specifications. There's a lot of people saying that whenever they come out with that, Microsoft is going to come out with a new Xbox 2 as well. Not Xbox 2. That would be a dumb name for it.
We knew what you mean.
Okay, yeah.
I've heard that it's just going to be another iteration, though. It's not going to be another architecture. It's just going to be a more improved project, like an Xbox One X. It's going to be
right. Yeah. So I think Microsoft can continue to iterate because they're not like in the driver's seat right now in terms of console wars. I think that PlayStation is going to have to iterate again to make sure they're staying on top because the Xbox One S has closed the gap significantly between where there was kind of a difference between PS4 and Xbox.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean the One S?
Isn't that what the like fancy Xbox One is called?
That's the One X, and it's actually better than the Pro.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is that they've come a really long way since the original Xbox versus PS4 comparison.
Yeah, but I mean, both of them are so close to PCs at this point that they don't need to do a complete architecture change. Like going from PS3 to PS4, they switched architectures. I can't remember what they were on before, but they switched to something that's, for PS4, they switched to something that's more similar to a regular PC. Xbox is basically just a PC with a like custom operating system at this point.
Well, what a lot of the experts in quotes are saying is that because they've been releasing more mid console releases, like the Xbox One X, the PS4 Pro, that kind of stuff, means that they will not release anything else that is just a reiteration of the thing they already have. Is that the next things that they're going to come out with will be new architecture builds, because they've already done, like, with the amount of 4K stuff that's out there, like there's more 4K TVs, there's more 4K actual, like,
well, and there might be something that, like, the PS5 can play something that the PS4 can't. But I think that we're going to see the, like, PS4 games working on PS5 just because it's going. Yes, no, absolutely
not. Okay. And here's why: it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not it could. It has to do with they want to make sure that they can resell the same games you had on your previous console.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're going to have a hard bargain with that.
Okay.
We'll see when the specs drop.
Because of the fact that, I mean, the specs aren't going to matter. It's going to be whether they
decide
allow it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and they're going to be competing with they're going to be competing with PC, where you can play everything back from the 90s.
Yeah, but they've been competing with PC in that way for, what, 25 years, 30 years?
This time they're doing same iterations.
The difference is that there's a very large barrier of entry to PC. It's slightly more complex. It's definitely more expensive, at least for the first-time buyer, and that's why people go to consoles. Consoles. Anyway, that's my prediction. My last one is that Battle Royales will steadily decrease in popularity in 2019.
Thank God.
That's mine too. I had that.
Oh, sorry, Alison.
It's okay. I agree. I fully agree. I think that they'll really be not releasing towards the end of next year, honestly.
And why, Allison? Why?
Because I think this is that fad. It's not really, in my opinion, a game that can survive in every single game that comes out, but it's happening right now. It's like every game that releases and has any kind of shooter has a battle royale mode right now. And so it's just the hot thing. And by this time next year, it's going to be boring.
It'll be the zombie genre of, like,
it's market saturation. I mean, like you said, everyone's coming out with a version of it.
Well, one of the things that I've seen a few people talk about is the increasing popularity of looter shooters. So, like, your Diablo or kind of Borderlands, Anthem, which is going to be very similar. Which hopefully
isn't Anthem more like Destiny though?
But Destiny's one of those too, where it's like it's shooting, it's a shooter, but it's still about kind of collecting the Diablo-esque, like, I need more loot, more loot.
Their loot feedback never really caught me like Diablo did,
right? Which is why a lot of people are kind of thinking that may be the future, which is like it's more about free content that you can, like, keep playing to get more powerful stuff that is different levels of those kind of things.
So Dan, what's your prediction?
Oh, my prediction? Well, my prediction is that the Battle Royale genre is going to go away, but we're going to get more Diablo-y sort of shooter genres, or like third-person hack and slash kind of stuff.
That's cool. I'd be fine with that.
And because I think that is a genre in which, and I've watched a few YouTube videos of people talking about this, and I've read a few articles about people saying that this is kind of where those genres are going, because that's what people want. Is they want something where they can get things for playing it for longer.
76 is kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why it's the speculation is saying that may be where it's going. Another thing that I think along the same lines of battle royales kind of disappearing is, I think loot boxes are probably going to start disappearing over this next year too.
Whoa, that's big.
Yeah, that's a bold statement, Cotton.
I say that mainly it's kind of political, because
because of all the gambling.
Yeah, like the gambling stuff. The EU is basically banning loot boxes, so that's a huge market where they're going to say, nope, can't do it because it's gambling. That's kind of against what games should be. So people are going to kind of stop doing, or at least as far as we know it now, loot boxes might disappear.
Dan, do you think that if EU bans but America doesn't, that the larger companies will get rid of loot boxes or keep them?
No, they'll get rid of them. Like, as soon as the EU does, I seriously do. I think that because of that, it's gonna start translating over into the Chinese market, or like the Eastern markets, and that's gonna make it like, it's just gonna have this kind of snowball
domino effect.
Yeah. Interesting. Dan, I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So last year you talked about Shenmue. Trace.
It's not happening. I know they set a release date for this year.
There's a date.
No,
Dan.
fuck it. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna be like, it's gonna keep getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, because it's gonna be like, that's kind of like, it's kind of like the Cyberpunk 2077 of PlayStation stuff, where it's just not gonna happen.
No, Cyberpunk 2077 hasn't been started like in the early 2000s.
Right, and the last time they talked about Shenmue 3, was last year when they just got all the money for it, and they were like, all right, we're gonna start doing it now.
Yeah, 2077 had a playable demo this year.
Yeah, and Shenmue 3 didn't, so it's not gonna happen.
Right, so I guess we agree. I thought you said it was like 2077. I'm sorry.
You guys literally have the same point, but you're arguing each other. It's kind of funny.
This is the GameBrew.
It's adorable.
I think they'll be too scared to. I think they'll release it. I don't think it should be released, and I don't think it'll be ready, but I think they'll rush it, and I think they'll release it when they say they're going to release it right now.
Shenmue?
There's too much money in this.
It's going to be shitty.
It's going to be shitty. I really think so. That's my prediction, is that it will release 2019 and it will be shit.
All right. Allison, what else you got?
Well, you hit one of mine. Did I have anything else? My other one, I think Jump Force is going to be trash.
Ooh, what is Jump Force?
Oh, I thought you guys would know this. It's really getting hyped right now because they're announcing a lot of characters for release. Okay. It's like Smash, but with lots of anime characters and other random characters.
That's fun.
Which, right, in theory, this sounds awesome. But in practice, they're putting all these characters from different worlds together, and I just don't see it cohesively working. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they're going to balance these characters to make this game fun, rather than some of the characters just being too overpowered and the ones you win with when you play this fighting game.
Interesting.
I want it to be great. I really do. I think it could be awesome, and it's something I really want to see. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a steaming pile of poo-poo.
Oh, well, okay.
Poo-poo.
Prediction. It will be a steaming pile of poo-poo. Poop force, if you will.
Poop force.
All right. Speaking of, what do you got, man?
Speaking of poop force?
Speaking of Will.
Speaking of poop force, Will, how's your bowel movements?
It's great. It's smooth.
Nice.
Oh,
Good
man.
news.
Really?
My prediction for 2019 is I think Discord is going to be one of the first entities to actually make a noticeable dent into Steam sales, into Steam's market share.
More than Epic?
Wow.
That would
Epic.
be my question, yeah.
Why do you say that?
I think they're going to make a bigger dent than Epic because, first of all, they're giving a higher percentage of the sales to the developer.
Okay.
And if I'm a developer, Steam's got their Steam sales, part of which is to get yourself on that front page. It's like, my game's 70% off this week, and they're going to slap you on that front page. I don't know exactly. It's kind of a window, a veiled curtain of how they do that, but you get on that front page with a massive discount, especially the bigger developer you are. You give me more money, I'm more likely to cut that game discount way, way down, further than I would on other platforms. And, furthermore, Discord is a fairly ubiquitous thing. It's starting to get more widely used. It's pretty stable. It functions well.
It looks good. I'm poking around right now.
Other than gaming, it looks good. Imagine if Steam had all the things that this had. It's like you would never leave.
There's also a bunch of good stuff on their Nitro service, which I assume is kind of like a monthly subscription. Mm-hmm. Inside is free, Nidhogg is free, Torchlight 2 is free, Darksiders 2 is free, Tooth and Tail, Limbo, Soma.
I think Discord has the legs to start to chip away at Gabe Newell.
Ooh, FTL? Yeah, interesting. Interesting prediction, Will. Anything else?
No, not for me.
I have one that I thought of whenever we were talking about stuff earlier. And this kind of goes back to what we talked about last week, too, with the Diablo Immortal stuff. I think that there's going to be a significant increase in the amount of mobile content that is fairly high quality coming out this next year. Because at least a lot of the articles I've been reading, especially with like Konami, saying they're going to switch mainly to working in the mobile markets because that's in the Eastern markets. That's huge. Like they make so much money in the mobile area that they can start focusing more on that in the West. And that's, I think it's viable if there's good quality content and not just like fluff in the mobile area.
And we've also kind of seen a little bit of the start of that. Gorogoa was a pretty big hit and is also a pretty meaty game in terms of puzzlers. And also Florence, which I picked up the other day on the on the Google Play Market for like $3. But Florence is supposed to be one of the best games like ever on mobile, so I'm super excited to play it.
All right.
Looking it up now.
All right. Okay. So last thing is just to last thing is just to toss out a couple of games that we're feeling excited about in 2019. I'm looking forward to Anthem in spite of the fact that I shat on it during last year's thing, but I'm excited that it's going to happen, and I'm really looking forward to it being good. So I'm gonna put my eggs in the Anthem basket.
Okay.
And hope it's great.
Anthem eggs. Hopefully it's an Easter thing.
Dan, what about you?
This might be kind of controversial from what Chris was saying to me earlier, but I'm kind of looking forward to Rage 2 coming out.
Why?
Software. So the first Rage game, did any of you play it?
Mm-mm.
I did.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
So whenever it came out, it was supposed to be this open world sort of shooter / vehicle battler, and it wasn't. And that was the thing that like kind of bugged me. Like I remember playing this.
It was like Borderlands, but
it was Borderlands, but not as well done, and with
like
less collecty
some of it
stuff.
was, yeah, it was less collecty, but some of it was well done.
So, but remember, like
the shooting felt pretty good.
Yeah, and they came out with Doom, and they did a really good job with that. And I think they've spent the time to kind of solidify what they wanted. I don't think they knew what they wanted Rage to be whenever it came out the first time. They were like, we don't know what we can do with this property and what we want it to be. And I think now they kind of understand it a little bit more. And that's why Rage 2 is going to be better.
And I looked it up after you mentioned this earlier, before the podcast. Apparently it's going to be done with Avalanche Studios, who also make Just Cause.
Yep.
And also made the Mad Max game.
Exactly. And that's why the vehicle battling will be a little bit better.
And they're using their engine, so Avalanche's engine. They're not using the id engine.
Right.
Which is interesting.
So that's why I'm interested to play it. I'm interested to play it, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
That made me more interested.
All right. Chris, what about you, Mr. Interested?
I'm interested in Metro Exodus.
Yeah?
The Metro games have been very good. Both of, the first Metro game was good, especially for like a kind of small budget, but like big aspirations game. And then Metro Last Light was really good. I played that earlier this year. Just atmospherically a very good game. And so I'm really looking forward to the conclusion. I think it's going to be a trilogy. But I mean, they've always pushed the envelope for graphics, and the atmosphere is always really good.
Okay, cool. Allison.
I'm super, super stoked for Kingdom Hearts 3. I think next year is going to be a year for the sequels. So I'm really excited about a bunch of games that are sequels to other games, but this one especially, I've been waiting on it so long, and the first game had such a special place in my heart, and yeah, I can't wait. I'm stoked. I'm hella stoked.
If not that we have time now, probably, but could you explain to me the story of Kingdom Hearts in 30 seconds or less?
Yes. A boy is with his friends go through Disney areas to save things. There.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's much more solid, because when I looked up the plot summary on Wikipedia...
Oh, no.
No,
It has something involved with... Is it somehow connected to the Final Fantasy world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So yeah, there's also, I forgot that part. Sorry, let me tag that in. And also Final Fantasy.
Here we go.
That's the part that gets fucky.
It gets real fucky.
It's really, if you don't, you should play it from the beginning if you want to try.
It's just fun. It's fun. It's beautiful. The gameplay is easy enough, but complex enough to keep your interest. I just think all around, it's always been a solid game, and it really did an amazing thing for kind of that hack and slashy genre. Like, it really made that
the true action RPG.
It did, and it really solidified that mobile. It made the movements feel good. I can't talk. Champagne sucks. Okay, there you go.
Do you know if they've released Kingdom Hearts more like for this console generation?
What do you mean?
Like, if I was trying to get into Kingdom Hearts,
they have the
right
remastered.
Now, there is a remastered that I could go out and buy
which is 1
for
and
PS4
2 together.
Yeah. Doesn't it also have like 1.5 and 2.5? Or like
it has
1.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and I'm really confused by it.
It's all together. Kingdom Hearts Remastered. I have it. It's
for PS4.
Go get it for PS4. Yes.
Yeah, there's literally like 19 different iterations of the 1 and 2s.
When I bought my 3DS, I bought the 385 or 358 divided by 2 days.
Yeah.
I tried it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "This is dumb," and I don't get it, and I returned it.
Whose game haven't we done?
All right, Will, close out the episode for us.
My game is, well, this one kind of counts. It releases the 31st, so I'll be playing it in 2019. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay, so it announces December 31st, 2019.
So they were basically like, we want to technically make it 2019, but really not.
It's 2020. That game was released.
Garbage.
Yeah, it's 2019.
It's not going to release next year.
It's gonna happen.
Nope.
No, I believe
the game I'm actually probably the most excited about is Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Oh yeah, I almost said that.
That looks good. Did you guys see the video from that the other day?
Yeah, I watched the trail. It was
good.
Gameplay.
I remember loving it, but it has too many spooky pumpkins for me to play alone, so I'll have to play it with somebody else.
9 million spooky.
That's a lot of spooky pumpkins, and it's good.
I'll hold your hand, Ian. We'll play it.
Oh, thank you. All right, well, I think that is it for episode 46 and for this year of the GameBrew podcast. Guys, it's been another year.
Yay.
Wow.
I still like all of
We
you.
did it.
This is my first year, but that's
That's
okay.
true. It's the first year.
It's almost year for a whole year, though. Like,
That's amazing.
All right, I think that's it for the year. Say goodbye, everybody.
goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
I don't know the words to the rest of the song, but I know there's Old Lang Syne.